This is not a drill, Cardinals fans. The Cardinals might draft another quarterback this July in 2026. That's not a joke. This just in a headline, a clickbait. We're going to talk about how it could happen, and the Cardinals quarterback situation gets very interesting. Welcome into Cardinals Today, presented by Prize Picks. Make sure you use code HMA. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first five. Let's dive into this wild story. If you want more Cardinals content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 3,000 subs. Only 269 people away from hitting that sub button. And you can be part of our first 3,000 subscribers here on the channel. It is free, and I got Cardinals updates for you guys coming all off season long. Let's dive into this one. So who is Brendan Sorsby? Why is he potentially an option for the Cardinals at quarterback? We're going to talk about the rumors that have linked Arizona to Sorsby, but I want you to understand who he is first. Essentially, Brendan Sorsby is a quarterback that transferred to Texas Tech, and Pete Thamel tells us he's checking into a residential treatment program for a gambling addiction. Is under NCAA investigation in the wake of the discovery of Sorsby making thousands of bets via a gambling app. Adam Schefter tells us that Brendan Sorsby, who is under investigation for making bets, has retained a noted lawyer, Jeffrey Kessler, to try and regain his college eligibility. If Sorsby and Kessler are unsuccessful in finding a path to eligibility, declaring for the NFL supplemental draft would become an option. Sorsby would have to wait until June 30th to declare for the supplemental draft. That's right, folks. The NFL supplemental draft, haven't seen it in a while. In fact, the Cardinals were the last team to benefit from it about 7 years ago now. Let's talk about what it is and how this is possible. So normally this takes place when players have eligibility issues in college football. Josh Gordon, for example, was a supplemental draft pick. Bernie Kosar, Terrell Pryor, they all worked out pretty decent stat-wise until Gordon, got into more trouble and couldn't play again. But basically what happens is the NFL sends an email to teams with the players that are available. Those teams respond putting in a 2027 draft pick bid, right? So Brendan Sorsby would be a player potentially in this draft, and the Cardinals would have to decide how high of a draft pick are we willing to put it in. And, well, maybe it poses the question, what if multiple teams put in the same pick? Let's say the Dolphins and the Cardinals submit a third-round pick for Brendan Sorsby. If multiple teams do that, the order is random based on three different categories and groups. Dane Brugler, who is a draft expert, sort of explains this a little bit better, saying the draft order that's divided into those three groups is teams with 6 or fewer wins, so the Cardinals would be in that group, or the rest of the non-playoff teams, and then the 14 playoff teams. Those are the three different groups. The order of each group is randomly selected. If a team is interested in drafting a prospect, they place a bid on that player in a certain round, and if multiple teams submit bids on a player in the same round, the team picking first in the order is awarded the player. Once a team drafts a player in the supplemental draft, it must forfeit its pick in that round in the following NFL draft. So, for example, in 2019, the Cardinals took Jalen Thompson with a fifth-round pick in the supplemental draft, and they forfeited a fifth-round pick in the 2020 NFL draft. So you would be forfeiting a 2027 draft pick to try and get Sorsby early here. The latest news that just came out about Brendan Sorsby is he's filed a lawsuit against the NCAA in connection with his gambling violation. I think that what's happening here is Sorsby's trying to fast-track his investigation. It's basically him and his agent being like, hey, can you just tell me if I can play college football? Because if I can't, I want to go to the supplemental draft, and that is what we are waiting on here. So, I've told you the situation, but maybe some of you are still sitting there saying, okay, but is he good? Like, is he a good quarterback? What's he like? Let's talk about Brendan Sorsby, the talent and the scouting report, and then the latest Cardinals rumors that link us to Brendan Sorsby. But I also want to let you guys know today's show is made possible by SeatGeek. When it's time to get out of the house, it's not many better options right now than a sporting event. Use code CHAT10 and get 10% off your next set of tickets. MLB is in full swing. NBA and NHL playoffs are here, and the NFL schedule is out. You can also now get World Cup tickets on SeatGeek. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience to go to a World Cup game while it's in America. And the Cardinals have 9 home games. It would be awesome to go watch Jeremiah Love's rookie season in person. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. And, of course, I have a code for you guys. Use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That is 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Huge thank you to SeatGeek. All right, Brendan Sorsby. Here's the latest. Basically, he admitted that he gambled on Indiana football while on the team. Also, this stems pretty deep for Sorsby. Turkish basketball, Romanian soccer, tennis, and the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Sorsby's camp citing a mental health issue in relation to gambling. So this is why he's literally in rehab. It's a legit addiction, folks. The Cardinals have been linked to him, though. Think of all the teams in the NFL. The Cardinals are probably the ones with the most quarterback uncertainty right now. And so, are they going to be the team that takes this chance on Brendan Sorsby in a supplemental draft? Jeff Howe talked about some Sorsby landing spots and said Jets, Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, Vikings, Falcons, and Cardinals all have tenuous long-term plans at quarterback. And who's to say the Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions aren't preparing for early succession plans with their franchise signal callers? So there's a lot of teams that could be in the market here for Sorsby, and we've got the odds right here on Kalshi. The Cardinals are top 3 in terms of teams that could be putting in a draft bid for Brendan Sorsby. How high would this bid have to be? That's our next question, right? Well, Todd McShay, who is an NFL draft analyst, host, says that Sorsby's worth a first-rounder. A first-round pick on Brendan Sorsby. Now, that's too steep for me. Especially the Cardinals are going to have a great first-round pick in 2027, I would imagine. But I will say it's intriguing because Sorsby could have been a first-round pick, second-round pick in the 2027 draft. You might be able to get him for less now. He's 6'3", 230, mobile, good arm. He's got all the tools and developmental traits you want as a GM and coach, especially an offensive guy like Mike LaFleur. I don't know that he's LaFleur's style of quarterback. He's not necessarily pure stand in the pocket passer like Beck is. He's a way better prospect than Beck, but he has a lot more athleticism upside to him. And those numbers at Cincinnati were pretty dang good. Now he became the number 1 transfer portal addition going to Texas Tech, but we might not even see him play there anymore. And the Cardinals, you've got this whole drama with Brissett, Minshew. This quarterback room is lacking, to say the least. I think we all realize that the Cardinals are looking for their franchise quarterback in 2027. The plus, though, you could potentially get who would be a first-round quarterback with a third-round pick or second in the supplemental draft. Because I don't think teams are going to submit a first-round pick at all. McShay says it's worth it. No one's putting that in for Brendan Sorsby right now. So you could get him on a quote-unquote discount. The cons, I think there's way better quarterback options in 2027. I think I'd rather Arch Manning. I think I'd rather C.J. Carr, Sellers, Dante Moore. Sorsby would not be the best quarterback in 2027, and you will probably have the option to get the best quarterback in 2027 if you're the Arizona Cardinals. Also, he's addicted to gambling. Can't just write that over here when talking about drafting the guy. What if you get a Calvin Ridley situation? He starts gambling on the NFL. And then he's banned. Suspended for a year. I'm not putting a first-round pick in to get Brendan Sorsby. A third, you could get me to bite on. Maybe a second, given how much uncertainty there is in the Cardinals quarterback room with Brissett and all that. But not a first. So let me know in the comment section. Do you want the Cardinals to draft Brendan Sorsby? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know in the comment section by getting a letter down below. Let me know if you want the Cardinals to draft Brendan Sorsby. Get that answer in the comment section. We'll talk about the latest with the actual Cardinals quarterback room right now. See how Sorsby can fit. But let's also give a shout-out to Prize Picks, the place to go if you love daily fantasy sports. Player Picks on fire right now. playoff basketball gets going, there's no better place to cash in while you're watching sports than with Prize Picks. With the social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That includes me and producer Ethan. You can follow us on Prize Picks, TLR Picks, or Fade if you think you got some better ones. And get the picks before I post them on the show. Lineup we got cooking up for tonight to win $160. Dylan Harper, the more on 19.5 points. I think he's going to points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's going to be a great factor for San Antonio. Also, J-Dub, we're going to go demon play here. More than 24.5 points and rebounds combined. Then SGA, more than 8.5 free throws made. SGA loves getting to the line. I love this pick. It's worked for me pretty well. And then Wemby, more than 1.5 three-pointers made for the 7'4" big fella. That's the lineup. App's really easy to use, guys. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats and lock in your lineup. And a new user offer, if you download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA, you get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Link is in the comment section and description of today's video, and that is code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. So here's the latest from Ian Rappaport on Jacoby. Not present as his team begins its first practice of voluntary OTAs. That's right. The starting quarterback has been staying away as he seeks a raise for 2026. That's right. Brissett in the big 2026 seeking a raise. So confirmed the report that he wasn't going to show up. He didn't show up. He is holding out. A lot of Cardinals fans are saying, let's just play Carson back then. I mean, I'll say this. If Jacoby's going to make this a big deal and big drama, goodbye. It's the Cardinals don't care. He's not your long-term answer. That's not in their best interest to pay Jacoby Brissett a bunch of money. You're lucky to get this season, Jacoby, and be a starter in the league still. That's it. They're moving on. And so Carson Beck should absolutely play this year. Even if Beck sucks, which he will, it's better to see if there's anything in Carson Beck. If there's anything you could work with before you draft a quarterback in 2027. Might as well play the kid. I mean, he doesn't get a benefit from playing Brissett. Unless you think Brissett can lead this team to the playoffs or get you some wins, okay, I would pay him. If that's not the case, the guy was 1-14 last year as a starter, then you should probably just play the young guy before 2027. So let me know in the comment section. If you had to choose your quarterback one, would it be Jacoby Brissett, type JB? Would it be Carson Beck, type CB? And if it's Gardner Minshew, type his initials, GM. Get those initials in the comment section and let me know who your quarterback one would be for the Arizona Cardinals if you had to make the decision that Mike LaFleur is making. That's going to do it for today's Cardinals Today episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue, and subscribe for more Cardinals videos. I got more coming your way. See you next time.